It's a shocking fact. Every hour, a life is lost to skin cancer, some of it caused by too much exposure to the sun. Would it surprise you to learn then that some companies are pushing tanning products that leave you open to risk? What are these products? How should you protect yourself? Arnold Diaz has important information about choosing a suntan product, and it comes just in time.
It's spring break, 1997. And the college crowd is letting it all hang out in Panama City, Florida. This annual pilgrimage to Florida's beaches is a chance for kids who've been cooped up in cold climates to have some fun and soak up some sun.
1:30, that means if you're laying on the beach or up on the pool deck, it's time to flip over, okay? So rotate over, get your tan evened out.
But while spring break has always been a time to tan, this year many dermatologists are alarmed by what they see as evidence of a dangerous trend away from the use of sunscreens and towards new products offering little or no protection.
What's the SPF factor there?
There's none.
Sunscreen in that?
No, there's no sunscreen in it.
You're not worried about skin cancer later on or anything like that?
No, I figure if I'm gonna die, I'll die pretty.
Ironically, critics say, it's the sunscreen companies themselves that are helping to undo years of public education about the dangers of the sun. Take a look at what's happening with sun care products. The same companies who for years have been promoting sunscreens are now coming out with new products to attract the sun, with sexy names like Ultimate Oil, Maximum Oil, Tan Magnifier, Tan Amplifier, Tan Accelerator, Megatan, Power Tan, and new this season, Equatorial Thrust Intensifier. University of California researcher Dr. Michael Martin, author of How to Outsmart the Sun, says these products are basically the same old tanning oils that left us scorched in the 60s before we supposedly got sun smart. Yet here they are again, dressed up and repackaged with the buzzwords of the 90s.
They have the appearance of a sunscreen, and yet many of them do not have any sun protection on them.
A good sunscreen, say most experts, should have an SPF, sun protection factor, of no less than 15. Yet industry leader Coppertone's new Tan Magnifier oil has an SPF of only 2.
This is probably something which Coppertone shouldn't be doing.
And on the back of the bottle is what Martin says is a misleading promise of protection.
Screens out the sun's burning rays while allowing you to get a deep, dark golden tan. Doesn't filter out much of the rays.
It doesn't.
No.
Even worse, he says, is this Tan Express Ultimate Oil made by Banana Boat. The zero SPF oil doesn't block any of the sun's rays, yet claims on the label it helps improve the skin's elasticity.
I don't know how they could possibly make that claim.
In fact, with zero protection, it might destroy some of the elasticity. Right?
Absolutely.
And check out Fruit of the Earth's Club Bronze Tanning Oil. It doesn't have any sunscreen, but it does have the endorsement of the U.S. ski team.
If someone were to use this while they were skiing, they're likely to get a very severe burn.
It turns out the ski team endorsement does not mean any of the team members use the tanning oil. All it means is that Fruit of the Earth pays the team to use the logo on its products.
I think that the FDA or another federal agency should really look very closely at these products, and they should be banned.
You think they should be banned?
Absolutely.
Dermatologist Dr. Bruce Katz, a member of the Skin Cancer Foundation, says at the very least, these tanning oils should carry a warning label, as on cigarettes.
We know that these can accelerate the aging of the skin and increase one's risk of developing skin cancer in the future. Why do we need products that are causing damage to people?
While the labels on most zero SPFs point out they contain no sunscreen, the FDA is proposing they go further with a warning that the product does not protect against sunburn. None of the 3 leading manufacturers, Coppertone, Banana Boat, or Hawaiian Tropic, would agree to be interviewed. We did speak with the owner of Caribbean Breeze, a small company whose line of sun care products goes from an SPF 45 down to its maximum tanning oil with no protection at all.
The dermatologists will say it's irresponsible to make a zero SPF product.
I agree to a point.
While David Kapp says it's the sun, not the product, that does the harm, he admits he won't use that tanning oil and generally recommends people wear an SPF 15.
Why do you make a product that you don't think is good to use?
It's what the customer wants. What I want and what the customer wants may be two entirely different products.
Hawaiian Tropic, in a written statement, also said its low SPF products are a response to consumer demand. Many of those customers may be underestimating the risk of developing the most deadly form of skin cancer, malignant melanoma.
There's a small percentage of people that get melanoma. I mean, the percentage is real small.
So you're playing the odds.
I'm playing the odds.
But that's a gamble an increasing number of people are losing. 50 years ago, the odds of the average white American developing melanoma were 1 in 1,500. Today, it's 1 in 84. Melanoma now kills an average of 1 person an hour in this country. Experts say that's because of the thinning ozone layer and people spending more accumulated time in the sun, not just on the beach, but playing sports, gardening, working outdoors. However, as threatening as the sun is, unlike 30 years ago, we now have sunscreens to shield us from day-to-day exposure.
When should you wear sunscreen?
Every day. Summer, winter, rain or shine, every day of the year.
But with so many sunscreens now on the market, how do you know which is the right one for you?
So we walk over here and, well, I got 4s. I don't want that.
Don't want that.
I got an 8.
Right, you're getting close.
Okay. I got 15.
There you go.
The ideal sunscreen for most people, says Dr. Martin, is one with an SPF 15 that's also waterproof and blocks both UVA and UVB rays.
Now I've got 30 and I've got 45. If
Right.
15 is good, 45 must be better.
It's not as much as you'd think. For instance, a 15 would filter out about 93% of the sunlight. A 30 would filter out 97%.
A 30 may be necessary for some people, such as young children and those with fair skin. But a 45 or 50, Banana Boat's SPF 50 costs twice as much per ounce as its 30, yet it filters out only about 1% more of the sun's rays. The Food and Drug Administration has proposed that sunscreens be limited to a maximum of SPF 30. Even this manufacturer agrees.
Anything over a 30, I think, is a waste of money.
And yet you make a 45.
Yes, we do.
Why?
The consumer demands it.
And apparently consumer demand is driving the latest trend of putting sun protection in makeup, moisturizers, and lipsticks. But what seems like a good idea is causing some concern.
Well, we're very concerned about these makeup preparations, particularly the foundations.
Dr. Katz says many of these products have too little sun protection, and even those with an SPF 15 are a poor substitute for sunscreens.
Makeup comes off very easily. Makeup is not applied just, uniformly all over the skin. A lot of women just apply foundation on the cheeks, perhaps, in certain areas that they want to cover up. And then they believe that they're protected for the day, and they're really not.
And he says most moisturizers with sun protection don't stick to the skin as well as sunscreens. They can also be quite costly. La Prairie's cellular anti-wrinkle sun cream with SPF 30 costs $100 for less than 2 ounces.
Could it be that it's a more expensive sunscreen ingredient?
No. There's no incredibly expensive sunscreen ingredient here that you can't find in products 1/20th the cost.
The makers of La Prairie say it's the moisturizing ingredients that justify the price.
Get yourself some sunscreen and get it on, okay?
Back at Panama City, while the poolside DJ spreads the simple, sensible message to use sunscreen, not far away, a representative of Coppertone walks the sands, offering a choice: a free sample of SPF 15 or a squirt of tan magnifier oil. She says most choose the oil.
Everybody wants to get a deeper, darker tan, even if they are white. They want to put this on and they'll turn pink. It doesn't really matter.
They don't care.
No, they don't want any SPF at all. It scares them. They act like, it's going to hurt them.
Dermatologists say it's a giant step backwards, and that the companies making these new tanning oils should tell people the truth, that in their quest for a deep, dark tan, they're likely to fry now and pay later. By the way, Hugh, we just heard from Coppertone, which pointed out that its SPF 2 oil does block out 50% of the sun's rays. Dermatologists say, however, that is not adequate protection for most people.
So you should have a 15 at least, I suppose.
A 15, and it's also important to reapply it during the day. And most people don't know the chemicals in sunscreens break down over time, so to be on the safe side, replace your products every year or two.
That's amazing. I don't look at expiration dates on all of those things.
Many of them don't even have it, so you almost have to remember when you bought it.
Are Americans getting the message about the sun at all?
People are using more sunscreen. More than half of Americans now use it, which is why dermatologists are so upset about this production of these new oil products.
And the increase of malignant melanoma.
Yes.
That's the problem. Thank you, Arnold.